Hey, what up, fam? Thank you for joining me for this episode of Chrissy Cooks. Now, if you have to make something very special for a special someone and you want it to look and taste restaurant quality, this is a recipe for you. Creamy Tuscan Chicken. Simple and easy. Stay tuned. First, we're going to start off with some clean chicken. That's right, I clean my chicken. If you choose not to, that's your business. But I do clean my chicken with vinegar or some type of lemon or lime and cold water. Now I'm going to go ahead and season it with a lot of cracked black pepper. And I'm also going to go in with my favorite salt, and you all know that it's Himalayan sea salt. Yes, I have it cracked this time. It's not in my container, but I'm going to go ahead and crack some of that over the chicken as well. Now we want to season it pretty well. We don't want to overdo it. We all know that chicken does not have very much flavor, so it needs salt. But some of our other ingredients have salt as well, so we don't want to overdo it. Now I'm going to go in with one of my favorite seasonings. If you have not tried this, please do. This is Kickin' Chicken, and this seasoning can season anything, as well as beef, pork, shrimp, whatever it is you're seasoning. This seasoning is perfect for it. Plus, it has red pepper flakes. So if you're like me and you like a little kick, go ahead and give this a try. So we're going to go in with our clean hands, and we're going to move this around and season our pieces of chicken. These are chicken thighs with the skin on and bone in. Now I love a good cast iron pan, so we're going to go in with a little bit of unflavored oil. I'm using vegetable oil, and we're going to heat our pan up very hot. We want it screaming hot, and we're going to put our chicken thighs down skin side. We want to get a very nice sear on this chicken because we want this chicken to hold up in our sauce. So we want to get a nice sear on the outside of our chicken. So I have about 6 chicken thighs here. I know you're going to say you're not supposed to squish them. Yes, you're not supposed to, because 9 times out of 10 they will steam. But, these won't steam because number 1, I only use a little bit of oil. And number 2, the pan was screaming hot when I put them down in there. So they're not going to steam so much. Now what we're looking for is that middle one right there. That one that I'm moving, that's what we want the outside of our chicken to look like. We want a good sear. So we're going to move those around so that the other ones can get as dark as that one. So those other ones, they're a little too light for me. So we're going to let them sit for a little while and flip those over again. Now I'm going to go in closer. You can see that front one. That's what we're looking for. That's the type of sear that we're looking for on the outside of our chicken. Now once we're done with our chicken, we're going to go ahead and put them on a towel surface to absorb all the juices and the water. We're going to go ahead and clean out our cast iron and add a little bit more oil to it, probably just a tablespoon of vegetable oil. And we're going to go in with about a tablespoon of garlic. Now we're going to go ahead and move our garlic around our pan because we want it to become fragrant. And it doesn't take long for garlic to become fragrant. But if we leave it too long, it will burn. If you guys have not tasted burnt garlic, trust me, you don't want to. It is very bitter and disgusting. So it takes about a good 15 seconds for your garlic to become fragrant. And once it does, we're going to add in our next ingredient, which is going to be some diced onions. So we're going to add our diced onions in, and we're going to cook those until they get a little bit of color on them and become a bit translucent. Now my pan was, to me, a little bit too dry, so I went ahead and added about a half a teaspoon of vegetable oil to it, just to ensure that my vegetables would cook the way that I needed them to, so that I could get some good color on these onions here. Now you guys have to forgive me, because not only am I cooking this recipe for you, but I am videoing, so it is tough being the whole production crew at one time. But how y'all think I'm doing? You think I'm holding up? I hope so. Now we're gonna go in with some diced tomatoes. I did drain most of the juice out, and looks like it could have been probably about a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of juice left in there, and that is fine. We're gonna go in also with about 2 handfuls of spinach. 2 handfuls of spinach into this recipe, and these colors right here is just gonna pop. It's just gonna make this recipe look so good. It looks like it tastes good already with the colors, you know. Food is all about presentation, and my presentation isn't always the best, but you know, I do the best I can. I do the best I can. So we're going to take some of our heated vegetables from the bottom and try to put them on top of the spinach to go ahead and try to wilt that down. And that's what we're looking for, is for our spinach to wilt. Once it wilts, we will add our next ingredient. Here we go. Our spinach has wilted down nicely. And if you're enjoying this recipe thus far, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell while you're at it. Okay, so now that our spinach has wilted, we're going to go ahead and add in our next ingredient, which is none other than the heavy whipping cream. We're going to add 16 ounces of heavy whipping cream to this pan. And we're going to go ahead and mix this up until everything is thoroughly combined. Now we're going to go ahead and season a little bit more. We're going to add some of our same seasonings that we seasoned our chicken with. We're going to do some fresh cracked black pepper. We're going to also do our pink Himalayan sea salt and our kicking chicken as well. If there is any other seasonings that you guys like, please add them to this recipe. I always give you the bare minimum, and I want you to make it your own. You can make it taste any way you want to taste. If you want to enhance it with some garlic powder, some onion powder, Creole seasoning, whatever it is that you like, make it your own. All of those seasonings hold up very well against a creamy base like this. So we're going to go in and we're going to mix this up and make sure our seasonings are well throughout our sauce. And we're going to let it come to a boil. But what I felt I needed to add was some chicken bouillon. I love the flavor of this. You guys know that this is super salty, so be careful how much you add. I only added a half a teaspoon of the chicken bouillon, and that was just enough to give it the flavor that I wanted it to have. Now, you do not have to add any of these seasonings that I have added. You're more than welcome, like I said, to add any seasoning you want. But this is just what I chose for my taste. And that little bit of chicken bouillon went a long way. So we're waiting for it to come to a full boil like that, and then we're going to add in about 5 ounces of shredded Parmesan cheese. Now let's make sure that it's real Parmesan cheese, not a mix with Parmesan and something else. We just want straight Parmesan cheese in this. We're going to sprinkle that in, and then we're going to give it a mix. So this was a 6-ounce container, and I added 5 ounces of the Parmesan cheese to it, and we're gonna mix it up, and it's gonna get nice, thick, and bubbly, just like that. Now, once it gets nice and bubbly, just like this, you guys, I want to let you know that this sauce is amazing, just like this. And this sauce right here can go on anything. You can put any type of protein in this sauce you want, but today I'm going to go ahead and add my chicken thighs that I seared so perfectly. Like I said, you want to ensure that there is a good crust on the outside, because they are going to have to be able to hold up in this thick sauce here. So we're going to go ahead and nestle them in right nicely. And then once we have them all nestled in, we're going to go ahead and take our rubber spatula and spoon some of that delicious sauce over top of our chicken thighs, and making sure that everything is covered in that sauce. Now this recipe, as you see, is super simple, and it's going to be paired with some mashed potatoes. And I also made some Parmesan and crusted asparagus in the oven, you guys. This is a super simple meal right here. This is restaurant quality. It tastes amazing, and I guarantee you, whoever you make this meal for, they are going to be pleased. They're going to be happy. They're going to think that you actually purchased this and tried to play it off. But in all honesty, simple and easy meal. Thank you guys for joining me for this episode of Chrissy Cooks. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Any recipes you'd like to see me create, leave it down in the comment section below. And until next time, you guys, peace.